Hey, everybody. Today is why. Sometimes you just have to ask. For a while now, I've been very critical about the graffiti artist known as banksy. The reason why is because I was a big fan of graffiti for a very long time now, and they've always been something that I'm very interested in, and I've invested a lot of time, money, and I love taking photographs of. But the problem I'm having is over and over now for the last 10, 15 years, 10 years maybe that I know, um, this person has never existed. They made a movie of him. He made a movie of himself. A lot of things seem to just don't make any sense to me. And more importantly, I'm a lover of art. I like to watch it. I like to see artists mature. I like to see them go from one artist style to another. I like to create new mediums. I like to see the art mature as art does. So that makes me just wonder. The other day, I drive for Lyft, and I do it for fun because I like to meet all the people in LA. And it's kind of fun to meet all the industry people. And I started talking to an art procurer regarding banksy, and we had a really good discussion. And my proposition to him is, who is this guy? I mean, does he really exist? Is it just a phenom? Is it just a joke? I love to answer all the different threads where I see Banksy being referenced in his new art or his art in New York, or now he just went to somewhere around the world. And I always say, Banksy is a farce. Who is he really anyway? And would he please stand up? Well, those are very honest questions, because really when it gets down to it, people have spent millions of dollars for his alleged art. And they say, well, that's the artist's prerogative not to charge for art. And that's the buyer's prerogative to buy art that may be fake. Or what? If it's a movement, then really, does it really matter? Sure, it does. The Bauhaus movement is pretty cool. Everybody engaged into it. And it really produced a lot of great art and feelings. I'm not going to say that Banksy began the art movement, because the art movement in graffiti began, many years ago. When I look at the Brazil has great art. In fact, my first experience with graffiti art was in Brazil. Was quite a few years back. Let's say about 2000, 1999, 2000. I was traveling there, and I saw amazing art. Even today, the art's amazing. So it kind of irritates me a little bit. Irritates me that somebody would use a name called Banksy, or however you say it, and proclaim greatness from it, and try to have some satirical outlook of what life is like, and they won't even show themselves. Graffiti artists, true graffiti artists, have paid a price. Many artists that are common today are doing a lot of pop art. They paid a price. That price was in jail for graffiti in the streets, as satirical as they want to be. And they say, well, I've heard the critics say, well, Banksy doesn't want to do that because if he does, he'll go to prison or go to jail. Well, so be it. That's the price of art. That's the price of, say, getting your stripes, of proving who you are, that you do exist, that you're not a movement. And that's my issue. If you're in a movement, then stand up and be a movement. If you're a group of people, then stand up and be a group of people. So today I decided, hey, why don't I go to the internet, Google, I haven't done this in a while. In fact, I never did this before. And I typed in Banksy, and I wanted to see what it said. So let me show you what it said. So I look here. And I see it gives me quite a bit of choices. Some of them say Banksy Wikipedia gives me some information. So let's click on that and see what it gives me. I've actually never used this screen sharing thing, so it's a little bit confusing to me. I'm just going to take this off of it because I don't understand it. Okay, it says I'm screen sharing. I don't quite understand what it's doing. There we go. Let's move on, because I don't want to take away from this. Let's get this thing off my window. So what I find fascinating is that they give me some definitions, and the definitions to me, in many ways, just aren't satisfactory. They don't really answer the question. Banksy is a pseudonymous English graffiti artist, political activist, film director, and painter. Really? I haven't seen you. I haven't seen you paint. I haven't seen you cut anything, in fact. I haven't seen anything of you to prove to me that you are real. So I'm not going to buy that. Well, just not yet. Another one says, how's Banksy becomes the world's famous unindicted artist? Well, because he's an anomaly. Or it's an anomaly. Or in fact, it just doesn't exist. So in my book, it's not priceless. It's useless. It is worth nothing. Because in this life, you got to exist in order to be something of value. Otherwise, you're just a figment of people's imaginations. And you serve no purpose other than just being a figment of imaginations. That's like hope and no action. We know a lot about that. And we know hope with a lot of bad action. So really, when you get down to it, doesn't work, doesn't jive. I remember I looked at a recent article in 2013 by Huffington Post that said, who is Banksy? They asked the same question. Here we now in 2014, they say it a lot. And here now again, we come back and we're getting the same thing. Who is Banksy? Well, they try to say it's certain people, and I believe it is not. I believe it's a group. I believe it's an organization. I believe it's people who have copycatted art styles and are continuing that with their satirical attitudes. And really, it's useless. It's trash. It's something that no one should pay a dime for. I wouldn't, surely. I know the other day I was walking on Venice Beach and I saw this artist and I looked over and there was Banksy pieces on billboards. I chuckled and I looked at it and I looked at the kids selling. And actually, I wanted to buy a piece just to say thank you, guys. But then I remembered in New York, allegedly Banksy was there selling art and it was in all the newspapers. As a marketer, Banksy or Banksy movement is brilliant. It's brilliant and that it's not identifying who they are. So to me, as an artist, as the one who loves art, Banksy is nothing, a farce. Until I see him, it will be nothing, but just that, nothing. Okay, so that's my discussion today. I look back forward to having another discussion, and I think I want to talk about something a little bit more exciting, something more real and tangible, and it's going to be net neutrality. So I'm going to talk about net neutrality, and I'll post it on when I'm going to talk again. So maybe some people can chime in, and we can have a little discussion. So till then, keep asking questions, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.